We're Team Blue doing a research on police brutality. We've been looking at the topic of police brutality towards African Americans for our final project. This is a topic that has been getting a lot of attention recently with the shooting of an unarmed black teen in Ferguson, Missouri. Many people have not been aware of just how big of an issue police brutality is until this and similar events have happened. Most people were oblivious to this issue and only imagine it happening in history, but never considered it as an issue today. The past few weeks, months, have been looking for resources to help make our argument, and that police brutality towards African Americans is still happening and needs to be stopped. We have found several different sources that we feel are really important to our argument.
So far, we have done mostly individual research. We have each found different stakeholders that go with our argument. We haven't spent much time as a team looking for sources other than the time we have spent at the Martin Luther King Library as a class. We have found a few primary sources in the King Library, but we have yet to find anything that is extremely not networthy. While researching online to find our stakeholder sources, we have stumbled across other things that have the potential of being useful. Currently, we are at the beginning stages of research and have just begun really working through sources we have found.
The first significant piece of research that we've found that we really feel is significant is the Department of Justice's website. This is a really useful piece as it adds a lot of credibility to our argument. The Department of Justice is the government body that's in charge of the police force. This source was one of the first pieces that we found as it's a stakeholder for our argument. We feel that it's still very important and relevant source as it gives our project credibility as well as shows our audience exactly what's happening in the government in relation to police brutality. It also adds a visual element to our project that will help keep the attention of our audience. This source also gives us the opportunity to possibly show the opinion of an opposing side. Although the Department of Justice has mentioned that it's regretful of the actions that happened in Ferguson, it hasn't claimed responsibility for it yet. So the Department of Justice doesn't exactly claim that it's a good thing, but it also doesn't state that they're opposed to it or that it exists. They also haven't said that it happens towards a specific race. There's a specific article on the webpage about the Department of Justice's response to the issue in Ferguson, and the article shows that the government's views are slightly different from those of the population in Ferguson. But overall, we think this is a really significant source because of what it adds to our argument and project. It gives our project a visual element and shows the opposing views and adds credibility to the argument. Another significant piece that we found is another stakeholder, and it's the NAACP. The NAACP is a big organization in the African American community fighting for justice, protesting for change, and assisting African Americans with things like education and employment. Their mission is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights for all people and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. On the issue of police brutality, the NAACP is very important, is also very involved. They launched a rapid report system for people to report any issues of police brutality or police misconduct, whether you are a victim or witness. You can upload videos, emails, text, and other things to the NAACP. They also come together to protest around different parts of the U.S., protesting for things like justice for Michael Brown. All in all, they have big plans in part of fighting for justice for African Americans, so they are a major stakeholder for the topic. This is also why we think we should include them in this report.
Our last significant piece comes from the Human Rights Watch. Everyone has different thoughts, feelings, and views when it comes to police brutality. One organization that takes a firm stance on this worldwide problem has been the Human Rights Watch. The Human Rights Watch is an independent international organization that accepts no funds from the government. As the Human Rights Watch, they stand to fight right and anything against the rights of humanity. Some people believe that the act of police brutality is an action that makes them feel degraded and less of a human being. In the most recent months, there have been a few fatalities due to the fact of police brutality. The Human Rights Watch stood on the victims' sides all throughout the killings of the civilians. As the Human Rights Watch, they stand for the better, the protection, and the well-being of those involved in hateful crimes. Because they are so involved with our issue, we have included them in this report. They have published many reports on police brutality and have fought against it in many different ways. In conclusion, we have found several other sources for this project. Most of them have been found online. However, we will continue to do research and look into different locations in the future. We would like to find some sources from primary sources. So looking at the Martin Luther King Library will be where we focus to get those sources. We also plan on doing interviews with UK students to see just how informed they are. While doing this research, we have become informed on this issue of police brutality, as well as different issues that are related to it. The purpose of doing this research was so that we create a well-informed, however, we have become more informed ourselves.